Let's talk now to Amnon Be-eri Sulitzeanu, who is in Tel Aviv. He is the CEO of the Arab Initiatives, a group promoting integration and equality for Jewish and Arab Israeli citizens based in Lod. And you'll know that we've seen street violence in towns in Israel between Jews and Israeli Arabs that has spread beyond Lod, but that is where it first started. So we're very interested to get your thoughts. And I wonder how you are feeling today about some of the things that you are witnessing.
So the bottom line is that we are extremely worried. All of those who are worried about the integrity of Israeli society and coexistence between the Jewish majority and Palestinian minority within Israel. There are 20% Israeli citizens who are Palestinians, and everything seems to fall apart. There are thousands and thousands of meeting points between Jews and Arabs within Israel, in universities and colleges, in shopping centers, in workplaces, NGOs, government ministries. And those contact points are becoming very dangerous. There are confrontations, hostilities, actions of lynch coming from one community towards another. And this is very stressful. The feeling is that we are deteriorating into a situation that reminds us all of the Balkans years ago. That's very troubling.
Indeed it is. I'm seeing so many people saying the conflict this time does feel very different. Are people really incredibly worried now about what all this could lead to?
Yes, but the brighter side of things is that we also see manifestations of unity, of coexistence, and the strive for shared society between Jews and Arabs. From very early today, from the early morning hours, we have seen dozens of letters and statements made by various groups coming from various organizations demonstrating unity. And people say, we stand together and no one will split us. And, as a civil society activist for many years, I can tell you that it feels as if our, the fabric or the ties that we have all built between Jews and Arabs in Israel can survive. We can overcome this crisis and eventually even strengthen the ties between Jews and Arabs. So who knows, every day that the crisis continues between Israel and Gaza, there is a danger that it will be harder to recover from the situation inside of Israel. But if the hostilities between Israel and its neighbors on the border will stop soon, then the damage is recoverable. We will be able to recover.
But do many Arab Israelis feel that some of this anger, it isn't new? This reflects systematic, ongoing discrimination and neglect that they feel they've suffered for years?
Yes, severe underdevelopment, neglect, discrimination on the grassroots level and in policy and government and legislation. The nation-state law that was passed at the Knesset recently is very damaging to the status of the Arab community, and people simply are not accepting it, and they're right not to accept it. We are citizens and everyone deserves their rights on equal terms. People in Israel are also, Palestinians in Israel are also extremely worried about human rights violations and Israeli policies in the West Bank and vis-a-vis Gaza. And, their relatives, sometimes friends and families live across the border, and they simply cannot sit quiet when they see those bloody confrontations. They are caught between the rock and the hard place, so to speak. They are Israelis and Palestinian at the same time, and it's very hard for many of them to navigate this dual identity.
Mr. Sulitzeanu, very important to get your thoughts, and good to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us from Tel Aviv.
Thank you very much.
And we will return to the story a little later in the program. But for